We will now try to start our discussion with question number 14. So what is question number 14 dealing about? Write a short note on professional skepticism. So let us try to understand the term professional skepticism. Important concept from the examination perspective. Professional skepticism. So what is this professional skepticism? Professional skepticism is one of the important quality which every auditor must possess. What is professional skepticism? It is one of the important quality, or even you can say it is one of the important characteristic which every auditor must possess. So if a person wants to become a good auditor, if any person wants to become good audit, or if he wants to do the audit in an effective manner, the most important characteristic which he or she, which a chartered accountant must possess to do an effective audit is professional skepticism. Okay, understood. Professional skepticism is one of the important characteristic which every auditor must possess. But what exactly is this meaning of the professional skepticism? So first we will try to start our discussion with what is the meaning of the term skepticism. What is the meaning of the term skepticism? It has been taken from the term skeptic, not septic guys, skeptic. Heard about this term skeptic earlier? Did you come across this term skeptic earlier? So skeptic means doubtful nature, or if I put it in simple terms, questioning mind. If I call a person as very skeptical, if I am saying, hey, you are very skeptical man, what is the meaning of the term skeptical? If I address some person, hey, he is very skeptical person, what do I mean by that? So skeptical person means if I go and say something to him, if I go and pass on some information to a person, he will not blindly accept it. If I go and say something to a person, he will not blindly accept it. Instead, he will start asking me counter questions. Why this information? Why this has to happen in this manner only? Who told you this information? What is the source of this information? Why should I believe this information? So, if you go and say, pass on some information, or if you go and give some information to the person, instead of accepting it on face value, instead of directly accepting it, if he starts questioning from various perspectives, why I should believe information, from where this information has come from, why not this information can be wrong. So such a doubtful nature of a person, we call it as skepticism or skeptical. So if a person is having such an attitude of questioning mind, not accepting everything very easily, asking various questions before he accepts that information, so that questioning mind of a person, that we call it as skepticism. Now, you tell me, is the skepticism good quality or bad quality? Assume you have a friend. Your friend is of such a nature. Your friend is very skeptical. He will not believe any information. He will keep on asking you. He will keep on overloaded you with so many questions. So, at our personal level, if we know any person, or if we are dealing with any person who is very skeptical, is that a good quality or bad quality? You might feel at your personal level that is bad quality. This person will not accept anything. He will keep on overloading me with a lot of questions. This is what the feeling you have, no? So at a personal level, if a person is skeptical, we feel that as something bad. But the standards on auditing say that skeptic nature is very, very good for audit. That skeptic nature is what? Very, very good for audit. So skepticism means a questioning mind. Professional skepticism, that means as an auditor, whenever you are doing professional assignments, whenever you are doing audit, whenever doing any professional assignment, you have to maintain that questioning mind. That is what the meaning of professional skepticism. That is actually good for audit. So what is the meaning of the professional skepticism? Whenever an auditor is doing any professional assignment, that could be audit, that could be accounts related work, that could be tax related work, and especially when it comes to audit, whenever you are performing any professional assignment like audit, you have to maintain that skepticism. You have to maintain that questioning mind. You have to have that attitude of questioning mind. That is very good for audit. That will increase the overall effectiveness of audit. So this is what the simple meaning of the term professional skepticism. So like if you are doing audit, assume I am doing audit of the company X Limited. When I go and do the audit of X Limited, the client will give me a lot of information. The client will give me their books of accounts. The client will give me their supporting documents like vouchers. They will give me financial statements. I go and ask them questions. They give replies. Lot of information you will get from the management. But don't accept everything blindly. Don't accept anything blindly. So if you go and ask some information, sir, have you prepared the financial statements properly? Management is telling, yes, sir, we have prepared all the financial statements perfectly. Will you blindly believe that statement? Will you believe that, okay, management is saying they have perfectly prepared the financial statements, so I will also believe that management have prepared financial statements properly? If they have given you some invoices, you asked some bills of the purchases, management gave you that bills. So you should not blindly accept it. Management will have given you bills. Have a questioning mind. What could go wrong in this invoice? Why not this invoice could have been manipulated? Why not the amount could have been inflated? So you should not accept all the information blindly, whatever is given to you from the management or employees, whoever it is, you need to question it. So that nature of the person, that nature of the auditor, that characteristic of the auditor, which is very much essential for the proper conduct of the audit, that we call it as professional skepticism. Understood, everybody? This is what the simple meaning. This is what in the common parlance the meaning of professional skepticism. But the term professional skepticism has been explained in an exhaustive manner in the standards. The term professional skepticism has been defined in an exhaustive manner in the standards. So they say that as per the standards, professional skepticism, they say that as per the standard, professional skepticism contains three components. How many components, guys? It contains three components, which I generally call it as ABC of professional skepticism. So as per the standards, professional skepticism contains three components, which I commonly refer it as ABC of professional skepticism. A means attitude of questioning mind. A means attitude of questioning mind. B, being alert to unusual circumstances. Being alert to unusual circumstances. Number 3, critical assessment of audit evidence. So as per the standard, professional skepticism contains three components. What are they? ABC of professional skepticism. Repeat, what are that? A, B and C elaborated. A means attitude of questioning mind. So professional skepticism means three things: attitude of questioning mind, being alert to unusual circumstances, and a critical assessment of audit evidence. So let us try to understand each of this component in a detailed manner. One thing I have already explained, you have to maintain an attitude of questioning mind, which means what? Don't believe everything blindly, whatever information is given to you. Have a questioning mind where this information could go wrong, whether the management has given me genuine information only or they have given me manipulated information. Maintaining that questioning mind. So this has nothing to elaborate further. Attitude of questioning mind, professional skepticism, one of the most important component. You have to maintain an attitude of questioning mind. Don't believe anything, whatever is coming to your knowledge. Try to question it. Understood? Now let us come to the second component, being alert to unusual circumstances. Whenever you come across any unusual circumstances, you have to remain alert. You should not take lightly whenever any unusual circumstance comes to you. You have to remain very much alert to unusual circumstance. Now what do you mean by unusual circumstance? What do you mean by unusual circumstance? Unusual means what? Something other than usual. So let me give you one simple example. Assume I am conducting audit of some client company X Limited for the financial year 21-22. On an average, the 12 months sales are something like this. In the month of April, it was 10 lakh rupees. In the month of May, it was somewhere around 9.5 lakhs. In the month of March, it was somewhere around 9.8. Sorry, in the month of June. In the month of June, it was somewhere around 9.8 lakhs. In the month of July, it was somewhere around 11.2 lakhs. So like this, when I looked at all the months, the sales are around the average of 10 lakh rupees. On an average, the monthly sale figure is how much? 10 lakh rupees. Somewhere around plus or minus 20% of 10 lakh. Within that range, the sales are there. But when I looked at the March month sale, in the March month alone, there was 90 lakh rupees of sale. In the March month alone, how much? 90 lakh rupees of sale was there. In rest of all other months, the average sales figure was somewhere around 10 lakhs, within the range of plus or minus 20% of 10 lakhs. But only in the month of March, the sale amount is 90 lakh rupees. Now you tell me, is it usual or unusual? It is an unusual transaction, something which is happening other than in a regular manner. Now you tell me, when you come across this unusual transaction, in the month of March alone, 90 lakh rupees of sale is there, when in all other months, average sale is around 10 lakh rupees. Will you become alert to this scenario or will you take it lightly? You have to become immediately alert. You have to become cautious. You need to perform more procedures in the month of March. You have to perform in-depth checking of the March month sales to know whether this 90 lakh rupees sales are genuine or they are fake or unreal. Understood? So that is what the meaning of this second component, being alert to unusual circumstances. Whenever you come across any unusual circumstances, you should not take it lightly. You have to become very much alert. And then finally, last component, critical assessment of audit evidence. I have told you already what is the meaning of audit evidence. When we were discussing inherent limitations, I told you entire process of audit. In that, I told what is the meaning of audit evidence. What is the meaning of audit evidence? Audit evidence means information which you are using for supporting the auditor's opinion. What is the meaning of audit evidence? Information which supports or forms a basis for auditor's opinion, that we call it as audit evidence. And whatever evidence that you are getting, and as I have told you, by performing audit procedures, you will get audit evidence. So now whatever evidence that you have got from doing audit, whatever evidence that you have got from performing the audit procedures, all that evidence need to be critically assessed. What do you mean by assessed? Critically analyzed. So whatever audit evidence you are getting, that evidence needs to be critically analyzed. In-depth analysis you have to do regarding audit evidence. Whatever evidences you have got, don't believe it blindly. Critically analyze that audit evidence. That is, try to ask various questions regarding this audit evidence. Then you start using it for forming the conclusion. Understood? So this is what the meaning of professional skepticism, attitude of questioning mind, being alert to unusual circumstances, and critical assessment of audit evidence. Now the standard is giving few more examples. Sir, you are saying whenever there are unusual circumstances, I have to remain alert. Can you give me some examples of unusual circumstances to which I should remain alert? Yes. The standard itself has given you some examples of unusual circumstances to which auditor should remain alert. What are the examples of unusual circumstances to which auditor should remain alert? Number one, whenever there is a doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence. Whenever there is a doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence, to that circumstance you should remain alert. So one of the example of unusual circumstance to which auditor should remain alert is what? Whenever you have any doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence. What do you mean by reliability? Trustability. See, if you have any doubt regarding trusting of audit evidence, if you are not able to trust the evidence so clearly, to that circumstance you have to remain alert. Sir, when I will get a doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence, sir, assume that you are checking a purchase bill. The purchase entry was written for 1 lakh. When I get the bill, when I get the purchase invoice, the initial 10,000 was looking in some figure, but the last zero was not matching with the format with other numbers. Zero was looking like someone has written it manually. It was not printed. All other things are printed, but zero was looking out of context. Last zero was not, the format is not matching. Now you tell me, will you get a doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence or not? Yes. So this is an unusual circumstance to which you should remain alert. Or I have found another invoice. In the another invoice, there were strike-offs. There were what? Strike-offs. When you find strike-off, will you get a doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence or not? Yes. So whenever you get doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence, that is an example of unusual circumstance to which auditor should remain alert. Similarly, when there are conflicts between multiple audit evidences, when there are conflicts between what? Multiple audit evidences. Sometimes for a single item, you can get the evidences from multiple sources. For a single item of financial statements, you can get evidences from multiple sources. Like take for example, in my books, one of the debtor, in my client's books, there was a debtor, Mr. A. The amount receivable from him, as per the books of accounts, the amount receivable is 10 lakh rupees. Now, I can get whether this 10 lakh rupees of debtor's balance is correct or not. I can get it from multiple ways. One thing which I can do to get the evidence is in-depth inspection of books of accounts. One thing what I can do, inspection I can do. Inspection means what? I have taken his ledger account, whatever entries were credited to his account, right? Sales entries, all the sale entries, I have checked the supporting documents, whatever payments which have been received from him, I checked the bank statements for that. So I took the ledger account of Mr. A, did a in-depth examination, whatever sales are there, I checked all the sales invoices, whatever payments are there, I cross-verified with the bank statement, then I calculated the closing balance. Yes, I came to know that from the ledger balance verification, yes, the balance is 10 lakh rupees. This is one way of getting evidence. Now, the same evidence for this person, I can get it from other way around. What one more technique which I can follow is external confirmation. What other technique I can follow? External confirmation. External confirmation means I am an auditor. I communicated with this data directly. I sent him an email. Sir, I am an auditor of this company. My client is saying that you are required to pay 10 lakh rupees to my client. Please confirm whether you are required to pay 10 lakh rupees or not. Now the debtor gave me a response that no sir, I am not required to pay 10 lakhs, I am required to pay 8 lakhs. See, for a single item, you got evidence from two ways. By doing inspection, you have got some evidence. From doing external confirmation, you have got some evidence. Now, when both the evidences are regarding the same item, they should match with each other or they should not match with each other. They should match. But here what is happening? Both the evidences regarding single item are conflicting with each other. They are not matching with each other. Now tell me, is this an unusual circumstance or general circumstance? This is also an unusual circumstance. To this you should remain alert or you should ignore. You have to remain very much alert. You have to remain what? Very much alert. Why? Why you have to remain alert is, why? Because two evidences, you are getting evidences from two sources and regarding the same item, but instead of matching with each other, they are conflicting with each other. So when you have conflicts between multiple audit evidences, this is also example of unusual circumstance to which you should remain alert. Next one, whenever you come across situation of possible fraud, whenever you come across situation of possible fraud, to that also you have to remain alert. Whenever you came to know that there is a possibility of happening of the fraud, to that circumstances also you have to remain alert. Like when I went to the client's premises, I came to know that the client has kept all his stock in all his inventory in a warehouse. And in that warehouse, there is no CCTV camera. There are no security guard. There is no store in charge. Everybody just like that going inside the store, picking whatever item they want and they are coming out. So there are no internal controls in the area of inventory. Now you tell me, since there is no CCTV camera, since there is no security guard, since there is no store in charge, there is a possibility of happening of fraud in the inventory or not? Yes. So this is a situation of possible fraud. To these situations of possible fraud also you should remain alert. To these situations of possible fraud also should remain alert. So what they are trying to say here is, one of the component of professional skepticism is being alert to unusual circumstances, and they are giving examples of some unusual circumstances to which auditor should remain alert. 3 examples they have given: whenever you have any doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence, whenever there are conflicts between multiple audit evidences, whenever there is a situation of possible fraud. Understood? And when I say critical assessment of audit evidence, when I say critical analysis of audit evidence, whatever evidence you have got, you have to ask various questions regarding that evidence. What kind of questions I should ask? Whatever evidence you have got, is it reliable? Is it trustable? Whatever evidence you have got, is it sufficient? Is it enough? Whatever evidence you have got, is it appropriate? Is there any requirement for additional or alternative evidence? So like this, whatever evidence you have got, you need to ask various questions regarding this evidence. That only I call it as critical assessment of audit evidence. Understood? So we are done with all the 3 components of professional skepticism: maintaining an attitude of questioning mind, being alert to unusual circumstances, and critical assessment of audit evidence. Along with the examples also I have explained. There is one more last item which we have to discuss regarding this professional skepticism. So the standard says that by maintaining an attitude of professional skepticism, by what? By maintaining attitude of professional skepticism, we can reduce certain kind of risk. By properly maintaining, if you maintain an attitude of professional skepticism, we can reduce certain risk. So what risk we can reduce? So 3 kind of risk we can reduce. Number 1, first risk which we can reduce is, by maintaining professional skepticism, we can reduce the risk of overgeneralizing. By maintaining professional skepticism, what we can do? We can reduce the risk of overgeneralizing while forming the conclusions. Now, what is this overgeneralizing? Let me give you a layman example to make you understand what is the meaning of overgeneralization. So I'm asking you some irrelevant question. Yes, I'm in my senses, but still I'm asking you this question. Please answer. A dog will have how many legs, guys? Yeah, you heard me right. It is a relevant question. A dog will have how many legs? 4 legs. This is a fact, no? This is a general fact. Now, if I say all the animals which have 4 legs are dogs, is it correct? A dog will have 4 legs. It is a general fact. But if I say all the animals which have 4 legs are dogs, what I am doing? I am taking a fact. I am overgeneralizing that fact. There is definitely true that the dog will have 4 legs, but it is wrong to say that all the animals which have 4 legs will be dogs. I am doing a overgeneralization here. Now you tell me, is overgeneralization good for audit or good or bad? Overgeneralization is bad because it will result in wrong conclusions. Similarly, in audit also overgeneralization may happen. How overgeneralization will happen in the audit? Like, I started verification of assets. In the assets area, I did not find out any material misstatement. Now I am doing a overgeneralization that if the assets are not containing any material misstatement, all other items of the financial statements also will not contain any material misstatement. This is how I do overgeneralization in the audit. I verified assets. I started with assets. In the assets, I did not find out any material misstatement. On the basis of this fact, I am doing overgeneralization that since in the assets there are no misstatement, in all other items of the financial statements also there will not be any misstatement. Now you tell me, is this overgeneralization good or bad? Bad. How can I reduce this overgeneralization? If you maintain professional skepticism. If you have professional skepticism, if you have a questioning mind, what kind of attitude you will have? If in the assets, if there are no material misstatement, why can't be misstatement in the other areas like liabilities, incomes or expenses? In the assets, there are no misstatement. Then why not the misstatement could exist in other areas? This thinking process when you will get? When you have professional skepticism. So you tell me, by maintaining professional skepticism, you are reducing the risk of overgeneralization or not? Now, if you are reducing the overgeneralization, that is good for audit or bad for audit? Good for audit. Understood, everybody? So by maintaining professional skepticism, one risk which we can reduce is, we can reduce the risk of overgeneralizing while taking the decisions. Number 2, by maintaining professional skepticism, we can even reduce the risk of overlooking unusual transactions. We can also reduce the risk of what? Overlooking unusual transactions. What is the meaning of overlooking? Overlooking means ignoring. See, if you don't have professional skepticism, if you don't have questioning mind, even if something unusual comes to our notice, we will not pay attention. We will be of very careless attitude because we don't have any questioning mind. No. For example, when I am walking around the company, I came to know that in the warehouse, there are no internal controls. There is no CCTV camera. There is no security guard. There is no store in charge. If I don't have any questioning mind, I will be of a nature that, okay, even though no internal controls are there, nothing wrong will happen in the inventory. But if I maintain professional skepticism, if I have questioning mind, immediately my focus will go there. See, in the inventory area, there is no security guard, there is no store in charge, there is no CCTV camera. So there could be a possibility of misstatement happening in the inventory. I have to do more verification when it comes to verification of the stock. So by maintaining professional skepticism, even I am reducing overlooking, ignoring unusual transactions. That means I will pay more attention to unusual transactions by maintaining professional skepticism. Understood? So two risk I have told. By maintaining professional skepticism, I can reduce the risk of overgeneralizing while taking conclusions. I can also reduce the risk of overlooking unusual transactions. And similarly, I can also reducing the risk of taking inappropriate decisions regarding audit procedures. By maintaining professional skepticism, I can also reduce the risk of taking inappropriate decisions. That means I will take more appropriate decisions if I maintain professional skepticism. If I don't have professional skepticism, I will make inappropriate decisions. I will make bad decisions regarding audit procedures. But if I maintain professional skepticism, I take more appropriate decisions regarding my audit procedures. So by maintaining professional skepticism, 3 kinds of risk can be reduced: overgeneralizing while taking conclusions, overlooking unusual circumstances, and taking inappropriate decisions regarding audit procedures. Understood? So this is what regarding professional skepticism. We have understood the meaning of the professional skepticism, 3 components of professional skepticism, and what kind of risk can be reduced by professional skepticism. Clear? The same thing will be there in the answer. Question number 14 if we read it. So let me quickly read it. Very much simple question. All things I have already covered. So meaning of professional skepticism. Professional skepticism refers to an attitude that includes questioning mind, being alert to conditions which may indicate possible misstatements, or even you can write it in simple terms, being alert to unusual circumstances. That only they are elaborating. Being alert to conditions which may indicate possible misstatement. That means being alert to unusual circumstances. And also a critical assessment of audit evidence. So three components: ABC of professional skepticism, attitude of questioning mind, being alert to conditions that may indicate possible misstatement. Number C, critical assessment of audit evidence. Next, circumstances to which auditor should remain alert. I gave you three examples of circumstances where auditor should remain alert. No, what are they? Audit evidence that contradicts with other evidences, information that brings into question the reliability of documents and responses to inquiries such as audit evidence, and conditions that may indicate possible fraud. Nothing but whatever we have written three examples here. Which are three examples? These three examples we have written. No, being alert to unusual circumstances. Three examples: doubt regarding reliability of audit evidence, conflicts between multiple audit evidences, and situation of possible fraud. Then finally, professional skepticism reduces the risk. By maintaining professional skepticism throughout the audit, we can reduce certain risk. What risk can be reduced? Three kind of risk can be reduced. Number one, we can reduce the risk of overlooking unusual circumstances. That means we will not ignore unusual circumstances, we will pay more attention to it. We can also reduce the risk of overgeneralizing while drawing conclusions. That means we will not do overgeneralization, we will do better decisions. And also we can reduce the risk of using inappropriate assumptions in determining nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. That means we will make more appropriate decisions. So instead of assumptions, you replace this term with decisions. Using inappropriate decisions regarding nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. That means we will take more appropriate decisions, we will reduce the risk of taking inappropriate decisions. And one more thing, guys, here they have used the term nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. Very important terminology. At various instances throughout the course, throughout the subject of this audit, at various instances you will find these terms nature, timing, and extent. So what I will do is I will take some time to make you understand what is the meaning of nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. This discussion you have to remember till the last class. Okay. So at various instances we'll be coming across these terms. So I want to take out some time and explain you the meaning of what is nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. In short, we call it as NTE also. Nature of audit procedures means types of audit procedure you want to perform. Nature of audit procedures means type of audit procedure you have to perform. Like, just if you remember, here I need to obtain evidence regarding debtor's balance. I can get the evidence by following a technique called inspection. I can also get the evidence by following another procedure called external confirmation. There are even various other procedures like observation, inquiry, so many other procedures are there which we'll talk about it later. So taking a decision which type of audit procedure I have to perform, that decision I call it as nature of audit procedure. Like if I want to obtain evidence regarding debtor, should I use inspection or should I use external confirmation or should I use both? So the decision regarding type of audit procedure you have to perform, that decision we call it as nature of audit procedures. Now when it comes to timing, timing can refer to two things. How much time you will spend on performing audit procedures. Like if I have to verify purchases, will I spend 2 days for verifying purchases, or will I spend 3 days for verifying purchases, or will I spend 5 days for verifying purchases? So how much time you will spend on performing audit procedures, also it will refer to when you will perform audit procedures. When you will perform audit procedures. Like I am saying that I will verify purchases after verifying sales, or I will verify fixed assets after verifying current assets. So this is also referring to timing. Timing of audit procedures can refer to two things. How much time you will spend on performing audit procedures. Will you spend 2 days, 3 days, 5 days? Or when you will perform audit procedures. Will you perform it after this? Will you perform before this? So two things can be referred to timing of audit procedures. How much time you will spend on performing audit procedures, when you will perform audit procedure. And then finally extent. Extent means volume. Volume means nothing but how many number of transactions you will verify. Nothing but I told you sample, no? Like for example, if I am verifying purchases, I have decided I will verify only 10% of the sample. Or I might decide, oh, I will do 20% of the sample. I will verify 30% of the interest. So more number of sample you are verifying, the more extent of audit procedures you are doing. Depth of performing audit procedures. Extent means what? Depth of performing audit procedures. Number, how many number of audit procedures you will perform. More the sample I am taking, more extent, more in-depth audit procedures I am performing. So three things: NTE of audit procedures, nature, timing and extent. This discussion you have to remember, write it somewhere please. Nature of audit procedure means the types of audit procedures which you will perform. Timing of audit procedure, how much time you will perform or how much time you will spend on performing audit procedures, when you will perform audit procedures. Extent can refer to one thing. What is that? Depth of performing audit procedures, volume of audit procedures which you will perform. That depth of audit procedures we call it as what? Extent of audit procedures. Understood everybody? So this is what regarding nature, timing and extent. And if you maintain professional skepticism, you will reduce the risk of taking inappropriate decisions. That means you will take more appropriate decisions regarding nature, timing and extent of audit procedures. Clear? So we have one more test your knowledge question. Let us have a quick look at it. Mr. H is an audit team member of a partnership firm of chartered accountants, WY and Associates. Mr. H was of the opinion that professional skepticism is required only at the planning stage of the audit because situations and circumstances which are unusual in nature exist only at the beginning of the audit. Explain whether professional skepticism is required at planning stage only. No. So if you read this statement here, maintaining professional skepticism throughout the audit is necessary. You should not maintain professional skepticism only at the planning stage. You have to maintain professional skepticism from the beginning of the audit till the end of the audit. Throughout the course of audit, you have to maintain professional skepticism. So how you will justify the answer? We will write the entire answer above and then we will write a concluding statement that professional skepticism is not only required at the planning stage of the audit, rather professional skepticism is required during the entire process of an audit because situations and circumstances which are not usual exist throughout the process of the audit. Understood? So first write the above answer completely, then write this concluding statement. Clear? So this is what regarding professional skepticism. We are successfully done with that also.